Ever since the tyke, I've been consumed by the art. Like me in a room full of pain, and I'ma pour out my heart. Fuck what you think, I ain't the stars. An artist never been broke. I got a wealth of creativity, I'm born to poke.
What's going on, YouTube? It's Born to Poke TV. I'm Chieftexx Films.
My name is Adam Chelluk.
Yeah, man, we out here, man. You know, we're trying to do more and more interviews in Fayetteville, North Carolina. We got a lot of dope artists in the city, man. Here's one right here, black and gray artist, amazing. So how did you get started with tattooing?
Like 2012, I didn't have a job and I could draw. So I was pretty much dead set on doing something art related. And I posted these pictures I drew a couple years before on Instagram. This dude Santana had commented, and he was like, oh, I just did 10.5 years, been out 4.5, like keep it up. And like I never even thought about tattooing. It wasn't like something that I was like pursuing or anything, but he commented that on this drawing I did. And I was like, maybe I should tattoo.
Black and gray, what make you pick black and gray out of everything, all the other tattoo mediums?
So I've always been cool with like, you know, graphites, pencils, you know, values. It's just something I was always drawn to. I love black and gray.
Like a lot of people get black and gray, like a lot of soldiers get black and gray. A lot of people want the black and gray work. Do your schedule stay busy with soldiers being in Fort Bragg, or you know, what are your main, who are your main client? What's your main clientele?
It seems like my main clientele is definitely soldiers. You know, since I've been out in Fayetteville, I've probably done like 30 wolf tattoos, like 50 Viking tattoos. You know, everybody wants Odin, Ravens.
Man.
And like, I mean, I'm cool with doing it, but it ain't really something that I'm like drawn to like that. I like more, I don't know, like religious tattoos, I guess. You know?
Okay, like Jesus and
yeah, I like the Virgin Mary tattoos, Jesus tattoos,
praying
hands. Yeah, I like that stuff. It's more my vibe.
Dealing with clients, like you said, you do a lot of military clientele. You knowing what you need to make a dope tattoo, a lot of the time the client doesn't get it. So how do you deal with those clients that try to make you differ from what you know works, man? Like, cause you know, if you don't stick to your guns, the tattoo turn out shitty, then it's on you, you know what I mean?
Man, I feel like I don't mean to. I feel like I talk them in circles though.
Yeah.
I just hit them with so much information that I sound smarter than what they think, and then bam, you know, they're like, oh yeah, do your thing, you know.
Right.
And in my mind, I'm like, I don't even know what the fuck that meant. I'm like, man, I played that off cool.
Hey, but it worked. I get to do what I want to do.
And you know what, man? They always like it better than what they thought anyway. Because like most people can't imagine the tattoo on their body. They see it on a paper or an iPad, and they see the edges all loose the way they are, and they don't see how it's gonna form with the body. You know, they don't understand that not every edge is gonna be there. Most lines get cut off.
Right.
There's like a way to flow things out where it's it's peaceful.
Right.
You know, I don't like those harsh tattoos, how they end. So, you know, I look for a very, you know, peaceful way of putting it on the body. And like, most people will agree with me, man. But I mean, I get some clients that are just set in their ways, and I don't know, sometimes I'll just be designing so long trying to make them happy that they'll finally just be like, you know what? Let's just go with your idea. It's been 4 hours. I'm like, yeah, see, just I don't know how you want me to do it any other way. So I think it's gonna look great. Man. And they usually agree with me.
So the shop that you at now, do y'all do a lot of walk-ins, or is it mainly like
but yeah, we're just appointment only. We don't do any walk-ins. And if people do come in for a walk-in, it's usually awkward because I'm like, there's someone here. You know what I mean? And I'm like, can I help you? You know what I mean? Like, I just don't expect it. You know? So it's funny.
Yeah, because the shop you don't have no signs on it, right?
There's no signs. There's no rhyme or reason for it being there. Just, you know, people walk by. It's just a weird-looking brick building with a red door, and you know, then they go inside and they're like, holy crap, it's nice.
Right.
It's set up nice.
No apprenticeship, just straight to skin.
Dude.
A lot of people frown at that nowadays, right?
I don't care. The first shop I ever worked at, that was my apprenticeship. And you know what she told me? She was like, because I did time before I even started tattooing, and I drew nonstop. So you know what she was like? You did your apprenticeship when you were in prison. Like, you drew for 10 hours a day. You know, you drew for commissary. Like, you was an artist in there, and then you just take what you learned in there and you bring it into a tattoo machine. And I was like, alright, cool.
That's a dope way to look at it.
Yeah, and yo, her apprenticeship was cool. You know how she taught me? I'd be like, yo, Christy, how do you like do every, you know, how do you make this wolf look all crazy cool with all the hair? And she'd be like, do each one individually. And I'm like, man, fuck out of here. I ain't doing that. But yo, I ain't gonna front. When I do wolf hair now, I take a little 3-liner, man. I'll make these divots with my mag, and I'll just come back in with the liner and just kind of pull it off a little more, you know, fade things out, you know, layer shit. And dude, literally, it's because of that like one little comment. It was probably even like a joke, you know what I mean? But I took it literal. I was like, I'm gonna do every fucking hair.
Right.
And like that was my apprenticeship, in my opinion. Just people giving me like little bones like that, you know.
Did you ever think you'd be teaching somebody?
Nah, but I remember being the one asking all the questions. I get messages from homies and stuff. Like I made some friends, you know, just them hitting me up on Instagram, being like, you know, what's your gray wash mix? Man, I love breaking it down for people, man. I think it's cool that I can like break it down for somebody. Cause dude, people broke it down for me. Like Santana, he gave me so much information, Gregory Guthrow, he gave me a ton of information. Like Christina Pafford, Don Morley, you know, Damian Lugo, Louis G, Cesar Morales, like Los. All these really, really good artists just openly, freely sharing information. So and then people bug about it, and it's like, what's the point of bugging about it? It's what we're all doing anyway. You're gonna get there at the end of the day, one way or the other. You know? If they're gonna do a shitty tattoo, and they're asking you for help, and you're like, oh, I'm too good for that.
Right.
It's like, then you just fucking that person's skin up too. You're an asshole, you know?
Yeah.
Like I don't know. They're gonna do it. People are gonna do it regardless. I did it regardless. I didn't care what nobody said.
Yeah. So how do you feel tattooing has changed your life?
Tattooing pretty much like saved my life. Basically, you know, before I started tattooing, you know, I was pretty down and out in life, you know, like my mom passed away when I was very young. You know, I grew up with a pops who was very in his own way, you know. So I pretty much went, you know, through a lot of random things. I went to programs, foster homes, juvenile detention centers, you know, just, you know, programs, prisons, homeless. So like, when I came home, when I maxed out on my bid, my prison bid, I did a total of 4 years. When I maxed out and I came home, I was like, I gotta do right. I'm 25, you know, I gotta figure it out. You know, so when I started tattooing, things changed dramatically. So fast. Like I never thought I'd have a car. You know, 3 months after I started tattooing, I had a car. Never thought I'd have an apartment. You know, 5 months after I started tattooing, I have an apartment.
Right.
You know, I'm able to go buy clothes, and I never was able to do stuff like that. I'm able to go out, you know, restaurants, never able to do shit like that. It really just opened up my life. When I was in prison, I used to look at tattoo magazines. I used to see this one artist, Tony Moncia, in there, and I was obsessed with his work, dude. I would just stare at it and just be like, oh man, I love it, you know. I would go to the library up there, and I would look for like cathedrals and stuff, and like the old architecture books. Couldn't find jack shit in there about it. Yeah. Like, you ain't find nothing nice in there. Like I looked for magazines, whatever, try to learn to draw the stuff. So I used to just copy his work, and when I came home, I started tattooing, like I said, and I went to the New York Empire Tattoo Convention with my old shop, Bare Knuckle Tattoo, and I was outside smoking a cigarette, and I seen Tony Moncia out there, so I was like, dude, I fanboyed. I was like, bro, I used to look at your work all the time. Like, yo, you're one of the reasons I wanted to tattoo, because that is, you know, inspiration. That's where it came from.
That's dope.
Like the detail he does, out of this world. So I was like, I showed him my work, and I'd just been tattooing like 4 or 5 months, and he was like, oh yeah, you're doing good, you know, keep practicing. I'm like, basically he's like, you suck.
Right.
You know, but he's not saying that, but that's what I know what he means, you know. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna keep practicing. I got this. And then during quarantine, he put a post up saying he was looking for artists or guest artists. And then, you know, I'm like, this is my chance, you know, I'm gonna shoot him an email and send him my work. Because to me, in my eyes, he's like this big tattooer. Like he's like a, you know, legend in my eyes. And then, you know, I sent him an email thinking I wouldn't hear back from him. He's like, oh yeah, come on through. Man, he's mad down to earth. He's one of the coolest people I've met in the industry. Like he's so good, but he's so humble. Like he knows he's nasty. You know, he still wants you to be your best too. He's not just like, oh, I'm the best, no one's better. He's like, oh, you want to get good too? Come here, I'll show you.
Yeah,
You know,
that's
so
dope.
it's like he's wicked cool, and like I went down to Atlanta to work with him. I was supposed to go back down there in December and February, but you know I had to go up to Massachusetts for a family emergency, so he's probably getting kind of like, where the fuck are you? You know, but I might just got this back, and I got to catch up on some work down here first.
Yeah. That's dope, man. That's dope. We appreciate you coming by to chop it up with us at the headquarters, Born to Poke TV headquarters, man. You welcome anytime, bro. Yeah, man. And we gonna put some of your work up on during the interview. What's your favorite tattoo before we leave? Favorite tattoo that you've ever done?
Man, I did this one where there's like, it's just a collage of stuff, man. It's got this chick up in here. It's got the skull out here and like a shark and a bird and all this stuff. It's just a big collage. Of
The big
shit.
sleeve?
Yeah, it was a sleeve.
That's dope.
It was one of my favorites, though.
Man, send us that picture so we can post it so he can see your work, man. Trust me, he amazing, man. You know, he wouldn't be on Born to Poke TV if he wasn't amazing. So, but we out, man. Make sure y'all tune in for this interview, the next interview, and the next interview after that, man. Born to Poke TV.